Alright, guys, so this is where we left off our game in the last one with this beautiful menu. And let's just quickly play this. Level two. And that's where we are. So let's pick right up. And by the way, for those who are new in this channel, which is pretty much everybody at this point, I'm building a game for Android using Gemini as my programming assistant slash co-pilot. So in the last one, we pretty much worked on our main menu polishing. That's where we ended things. So now I'll have to basically tell Gemini I'm happy with the way the main menu looks and see where it takes me. So I am currently or happy with the main menu. Shall we move on? And let's see where it takes us. Okay, so it's throwing a few different ideas. Let's see what it's saying. So here are a few high impact areas we could tackle to expand the game. Level progression. When the player reaches the end of level 1, it triggers a victory sequence like a fade out or level complete UI. Seamlessly loads level 2. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Combat mechanics. We can flesh out the logic for the enemies depending on the game. We could implement a head stomp mechanic to defeat them, or simply configure their hitboxes to trigger the game over state if the player gets caught. So this I feel like we've already done. But you know, Gemini, it's pretty common for it to forget things. So moving platforms, if your moving platforms are currently causing the player to slide off or jitter, nah, it's pretty smooth. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. And then the last one, collectible polish. Your game manager is already tracking points, but we can add some visual juice to the gold coins. Adding a satisfying particle burst, a glowing pulse effect, or floating score text when a coin is collected makes the moment-to-moment gameplay feel much more rewarding. You know what? I think before we jump on any of these, we should probably fix a few things in our game. Um, And the first one I can think of is if I just quickly go to our scene 2 or level 2. There's a bunch of scenarios where the main menu doesn't get triggered. So let's fix those. For example, if you fall down here, background music still stays on. So I think main menu pops up, but I mean retry menu, not the main menu. Um, but I want the background music to stop. So which script did we modify last time? Da, 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 da. So I think the logic for stopping the music, if I remember correctly, was in our hazard script. And I think the only thing we should do here is basically get rid of this check. So we stop our music or the background music only if there's a death sound. But I don't really want that, right? You should stop the background music every time we die, and if we just fall off from these pits, and there's no sound associated with it, so it ends up not triggering the stop background audio function there. So I'll just remove this check. Um, yeah, this if statement, if death sound is not equal null, because we don't really always have instances where there's a death sound. So let's just save it. And now let's try falling. Okay, all compiled. So let's try again. Okay, just fell off it, but why did the menu not launch this time? This will launch the menu. Okay, so this one didn't launch the menu. Why is that? Trigger game over. Game manager. Let's open up game manager. Trigger game over. Game over screen. Where? So it should be. Doesn't seem like this got called for whatever reason. Okay, let's try to debug unassigned reference exception. The variable death sound of hazard has not been assigned. Okay. Death sound. Ah, okay. We're running into the issue here. This line, we didn't initialize our death sound, so it's throwing an error there. Um, so I think I'll modify it a little bit more. Instead of deleting that if statement, I will move this if statement out of there and over here. Okay, to stop the background music, and if there's a death sound, that's when you play that death sound, okay? And then you call the trigger game over function. So save this. Now let's try again. Clean, 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 clean. Awesome. Uh, hazard. Trying to find the hazard. Where where did we put that hazard that's under our level? Should be somewhere. See if I can find it. I've found it. It's called kill zone, and it's this guy right here. It's invisible. That's why we can't see it. And you know what? To make it visible, I'll just. Could I make it visible in a different way? I guess not. It just has this box collider with no renderer or whatever that would make it visible. So it is what it is. But yeah, it doesn't have a death sound. I'm just thinking if I should drag and drop the death sound that we have for our spike over here also. So might as well, right? Kind of want that sound. Da, da, kill zone. Game over. All right, let's try it out. Nice, cool. So that revert all the changes here. Okay, it looks like we commented out this section. Is it going to cause any issues? Let's see. That section we put in there to make sure our player doesn't die once we've already finished the level. So let's see if we die. Ah, yeah, so we should probably uncomment that part. If level gold on. So that should probably go at the very top. Yeah, has to, right? And you want to check if the level's already beaten at the very top. That's when, because if it is, then you don't want any of this to happen because you can't die if you've already collected the trophy. So that's where it goes, right? And otherwise, you got to move this also. And probably get rid of this one actually, because this is going to cause problems. Don't want the load scene to be triggered because now we do it using our fancy menu that we have. So let's have it in place and see what it does. I'm guessing once you die, it's going to immediately reload the level. So all compiled. Let's try. See, it just reloaded it instantly and we're frozen because the time stopped. Um, so yeah, get rid of this one. And we should be good. Oh, so now it should be pretty clean. Oh, so it looks like if you hit that enemy there, it instantly reloads the level, so we should fix that. Also, patrol enemy. Does it have a hazard on, or how does this work? Let's see. Scene scripts, patrol enemy. Hazard? No, doesn't seem like there's any hazard getting called here. Mm-mm-mm. So only our spike has the hazard, but patrol enemy doesn't. It's yeah, all we did for the spike was just add the hazard script to it in our spike trap. But looks like our patrol enemy doesn't have that script, right? So it just has the patrol enemy script. So that's what we should probably focus on for now is can we apply the hazard to it instead of having all this logic that we have on collision. I'll just delete this commented out part because this was the old on collision method. So yeah, let's just fix that real quick. Before we get to any of those, should we make it so our patrol enemy triggers the death sound and the main or death menu pop up once we collide. Um, should we attach the hazard script to our patrol enemy prefab and update our methods? Patrol enemy.cs, and I'll just pasted the code, and I'll also paste the hazard script. Hazard.cs. Now, there we go. So it says we're going to run into a conflict because hazard script relies on this on trigger enter 2D, and patrol enemy relies on collision enter 2D. So we cannot simply just combine them. Cool. Instead of adding a new script, we can simply update the patrol enemy script to communicate with the game manager and audio manager, exactly like the hazard script does. So just update patrol enemy CS. Okay. Oh, debating if I should just copy and paste it. Feeling a little lazy. So how many lines we got? We got 104 lines of code, and if I just paste it, adds about 13 lines in there. You know what? I'll stop being lazy. I'll just compare what it's telling us to do side by side so we know exactly what we're doing. So, add a slot for the death sound at the top. So, audio clip squish sound. And just under it, we're going to add our death sound. And get rid of the new. And then we got our start method, our fixed update method. Cool, flip sprite on collision enter to D. All right, hit from above, stomp successful, reset the player, squish the enemy to half its height, disable the collider, disable the script, audio source played the squish sound, and destroyed the object. Else. So I'm assuming this is where yeah, of course. Um, if the level is complete, then do nothing. Otherwise, we stop the background music, played the death sound, and trigger game over. So that's all we're doing. Instead of our scene manager.load scene, that's what we paste in. And that's probably about it. That should be about all the changes we need in there. Okay, and one more curly bracket there. And that should be it. Go back to Unity. Cool, let's try it out. Before we do that, I'll have to put that death sound for our prefab. So control enemy should now have our death sound somewhere right there. And I'll put the same death sound for it as well. So death sound should be, come on, where is it? Game over. There we go. Uh, uh, uh. All right, game over. Drag and drop death sound right there. And let's go back to our game, see if it updated. Yep, so we should be good. Yeah, game. Nice, cool. Last quick tweak I want to make is fix these. Okay, I should probably tell you what I want to fix. When our moving platform, just make sure everything's still in place. Yep. Okay, when our moving platform passes in front of these coins, we run into a problem. And I'll show you exactly what the problem is. Let's just move a bunch of these coins from there. Maybe these ones, right? So I'll just move these 3 coins right here so you know exactly what I'm talking about. When it moves in front of these, it kind of starts flickering. See? So I'll just fix that real quick. And the way I want to do that is by putting that moving platform layer. Okay. Okay. Edge radius. No, maybe not here. Maybe over here is where it needs to happen. Where's the layer property? That's what I'm trying to find. Layer override. Um, I thought there was going to be like a layer property that would or like a sort order sorting layer where we could just like give it like a value. So it's behind the platform, but guess I was wrong. So I'll just ask Gemini. Open it up. Okay, last thing. I want to okay, maybe definitely not the last thing. One more thing I want to tackle is that when the moving platform passes in front of coins, the coins start flickering, appear and disappear, or they appear and disappear. How can I fix this? And I'll do screenshot of the moving platform. Screenshot. And screenshot of the gold coin. Z fighting. Okay, so I was trying to find order in layer. That's what we were just talking about. They're both set to sprite renderer component. Okay, so is that where? Sprite renderer, order in layer. Ah, I was trying to find this, but I guess I didn't see it. Does the prefab have it? Let's see. Sprite renderer. No, the sprite renderer doesn't. There's not even a sprite renderer for the prefab for whatever reason. I think it's probably like tied to the specific scene you're in. Sprite renderer, order and layer. Was I just missing it or am I blind? Or does the moving platform just not have it? Guess the moving platform doesn't have it. Yeah. Okay, so the gold coins have it, has it, have it. Sorry, grammar. I'm gonna just change the ordering layer to -5. Okay, and that's what I'll do. Go back in there, see if it propagated. Yep. So now that probably should have fixed the issue, and our platform should be always in front of the coins without those flickers. But let's test it out. Yes. And that -5 was just arbitrary because this thing is, I'm assuming, at 0. So anything under 0 would have worked. But let's see what solution Gemini would have said. Fix, update the ordering layer, select your gold coin, locate the order, change that to 1. Higher in 0. I wanted the gold coins to be on top, but I want the platform to be on top. So, but anyway, once we polish up the level, there's probably not going to be any coins in front of the moving platform. So, but anyway, I'm happy with the results, and this was pretty much just a touch-up episode, and we'll probably work on some more features in the next one. Stay tuned.